Let's start with this one. They're identical, the same, so then there's no difference between the two books. The pictures, everything is exactly the same. Okay, so let's start reading this one. And the name of this book is called Hansel and Gretel. In Afrikaans, Hansie en Grietjie. And then else, I don't think it's Jack and Jill, but anyway. Close enough. Let's read a bit here. What's that? This is a whole family sitting here. That looks like Mama and Papa and Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel, yes. This is a German story that's been translated into English. That's why their names are Hansel and Gretel. That is German names. Let's go for it and see how the story picks up. Once upon a time, there lived a poor woodcutter. A woodcutter, somebody who chops wood. His wife and his two children named Hansel and Gretel. Hansel is the boy, Gretel is the girl. Though the woodcutter loved his children very much, his wicked wife wished them gone. Oh no, I can see she's wicked. There was a great famine throughout the land. Famine means there's a shortage of food. Nobody's got enough food to eat. And she did not want to share what little food they had with her two lousy stepchildren. Oh, she's got stepchildren as well. Yo, this sounds like a horror story. Let's read a little bit more. And there they are, and she's going to come up with a story now. One night, as the woodcutter worried over how he would feed his family, his wife told him, "Do not worry, husband, for I have found some work for the children and myself in the house on the other side of the forest. I will take the children tomorrow and we will bring home a fine dinner." That sounds like a good deal to me. Hope it's going to come true. But Hansel, who lay awake in his bed, overheard this. He remembered the time that his stepmother had tried to sell him to a peddler in exchange for a new hat. Wow! And the time that she had tricked him into believing a nearby beehive was empty. He knew she was up to no good. I don't think he's going to trust her again very easily. So the next morning, before they set out, Hansel filled his pockets with small brown pebbles from the garden. As his stepmother led him down through the forest, Hansel sprinkled a pebble here and a pebble there, creating a trail he could easily follow back home. He's creating a trail. After many miles, Hansel and Gretel's stepmother turned to them and said, You poor children looks thirsty. Wait here and I will fetch some water for you." And she disappeared into the woods. I bet you she's not coming back. After some time, Hansel realized that he and his sister were stranded. See, I told you. Gretel began to cry, as little sister often do. "Fear not," said Hansel. "I know the way." And they followed the path of pebbles home. That was a bright idea when he dropped those pebbles, wasn't it? Now they have to follow the pebbles home. And I can see that the pebbles will lead them straight home. Let's see if it helps. And here they are, here's that. Hansel and Gretel arrived to find their father beside him, himself with worry. "Your stepmother told me how you became separated. I thought you were lost forever," he cried, pulling them both into a fierce hug. Their stepmother, though really quite furious, pretended to be relieved. We shall set out again tomorrow, she sighed. But this time we will make sure everything goes to plan. Yeah, okay. She definitely wants to get rid of them. The following morning, Hansel and Gretel's stepmother woke them very early. She handed them each a piece of bread as their breakfast and led them into the forest. There they go. Hansel, having had no time to collect pebbles. Oh, now we got problems. He's got no pebbles. But certain of what his stepmother was planning, broke the bread into little pieces. Ah, very clever boy. And left a trail of breadcrumbs on the ground as they walked. Very clever boy, Hansel, very clever boy. Good show. Let's see what happens now. Well, here they are in the forest, they made a fire. Shame, poor kids. This time their stepmother led them into a deeper part of the forest. After a long time, Gretel's legs became tired from walking, so they all decided to rest by the trunk of a big tree. The children soon fell asleep. When they woke, it was dark and their stepmother was gone again. I knew it. Hansel built a small fire to keep them warm and told Gretel he would lead them home in the morning. He's taking good care of his sister, that's for sure. When daylight came, they set off along the path they had travelled the day before, but the breadcrumbs had disappeared. Oh, yeah. I think the goats and the birds must have eaten the bread. Oh, wow, now we got a problem. Hansel soon realized that the forest animals must have eaten them, yeah? Well, that was a stupid idea, he thought. They were totally and utterly lost. Gretel began to cry again. At the moment, they heard a sweet song coming from a nearby tree. Wow, what is that? Looking around, in surprise, Gretel saw a snow-white bird sitting on a low branch and swallowed her tears to watch it. There it is, yeah, okay. When the bird flirted out of the tree and into the forest, Gretel ran after it and Hansel followed close behind. The beautiful bird led them to a clearing of the forest. Standing in the middle of the clearing was a beautiful cottage made from gingerbread. Wow, a gingerbread cottage. I've never seen anything like that. New and covered with sweet. That's special. It was the most exquisite thing Hansel and Gretel had ever seen. Exquisite means special, very special. Okay, and here we go. The children ran to the cottage and began taking bites from the gingerbread dough, pulling off parts of the sweet-colored walls and licking the clear toffee window. Yes, that. I wish I could try it and see what that tastes like. That looks like something really nice to eat. Wow. As they were eating, they heard a soft voice call from inside the house. Nibble, 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 little mouse. Who is nibbling on my house? Who is nibbling at my house? Suddenly the door opened and a very old woman came hobbling out. Oh, there she is. Hansel and Gretel were terribly frightened at first, but the old woman seemed very kind. You poor children, she said. You must be starving. Come inside and sit by the fire while I make you a hearty meal. She prepared dinner for the Hansel and Gretel and she set up 2 soft beds with thick and warm blankets. Wow, that sounds nice. Yo, the children ate hungrily and then fell fast asleep. Little did Hansel and Gretel know that although the old woman had been kind to the children, she was actually a wicked witch. A witch who liked to eat little boys. Oh damn no, now I'm getting scared. Oh, they shouldn't have gone in there. Oh, I thought she was a friendly old lady. Oh, I'm getting scared now. The next morning, while he was still half asleep, The witch seized Hansel and forced him into a cage. Ah, no, a cage. You will make a pretty mouthful. She, she cracked. She cackled. Sorry. In the following weeks, the witch cooked Hansel all the food he could eat and made Gretel his servant. Yo, because she had terrible eyesight, each morning the witch would make Hansel poke one finger out of the cage so she could feel how he was fattening up. Well, I think he's going to catch her with a trick. But Hansel, being a very clever boy as he was, had kept a chicken bone from one of his meals, and each day he would poke out of the cage for the witch to feel. She could not understand why he wasn't becoming plump and juicy, because he was touching a chicken bone, that's why, but she didn't know that. Right, so what now? One day, fed up with waiting for Hansel to fatten up into a delicious roast, the witch decided instead to make him into a lovely stew. Oh man, it's going to become a stew. She made Gretel fetch water and boil it into a big pot with lots of vegetables. The witch sat by crackling cheerfully and rubbing her hands together. Yeah, oh, this witch is wicked. And poor old Hansel is waiting to get into the pot. While the stock for the stew was boiling away, the witch ordered Gretel to help her bake some bread. Gretel needed the dough, then gave the loaf to the witch, who leaned into the oven and placed the bread inside. Gretel had her chance. She quickly shoved the witch into the oven and slammed the door closed. Wow. Serious? She slammed the door closed. She's got the witch in the oven. Oh, what's going to happen now? You saved my life, Hansel cried, very proud of his brave sister. Gretel quickly unlocked Hansel's cage and set him free. Quickly Hansel and Gretel both found a large sack, ran around the house, filling them with as much food as they could carry. Gretel also took a large jar of tasty-looking rock candy. They set out into the woods again, determined to find their way home. I hope they find their way home. After wandering through the woods for another day and night, Hansel finally began to recognize the forest around him. Though Gretel was exhausted, both children began to run when they saw the first glimpse of their home through the forest trees. Their father heard them hurried. Footsteps came rushing down the door and sweeping both children into his arms as soon as he saw them. I've searched high and low for you, he cried. When your stepmother told me she had lost you both, I was wild with worry. When she refused to help me find you quickly and realized her treachery and sent her away. We will never have to see her again. Fantastic. Inside the house, Hansel and Gretel emptied the sacks with their father, and their father was relieved to see there would be enough food to get them through the coming winter. But when Gretel pulled out the jar of the candy rocks, her father exclaimed, for it turned out that this was not rock candy after all, but precious gems worth a great fortune. Wow! Let's look at that. This is precious gems. This must be all sorts of precious diamonds and things. Yo! So they all lived happily ever after, I'm sure, with all of this. But Hansel and Gretel never ate sweets again. Wow! Here's another lovely story. Beautiful. Hansel and Gretel. I hope you're going to enjoy this and read it again and again and again and again. Now,